Hey, wait a minute. Virgil, aren't you dead?
Dead? You mean like how E3 is?
I mean, yeah, but what about continuity?
Don't question it, just roll the intro.
So, E3 is dead. Actually dead. Not gamer speaking, hello, new world is dead, but actually canceled and probably never coming back. I don't know how I feel about this. Let me be clear. The writing was on the wall pre-pandemic, when E3 opened itself up to fans as well as the press in 2017. We knew something was up. However, if we want to see the first actual nail in the coffin, we can use hindsight. It was when Nintendo skipped the main stage and did its first direct in 2011-2012. However, we got some foundation to set. For those that live under a rock, E3 was the biggest gaming expo for decades. Pre-2010, it was booth babes, Mountain Dew, and fake cinematics for PS3's Killzone. G4 would have all-day coverage of the event. Speaking of dead things, if something big was going to be announced, it was going to be at E3. New consoles? E3. Major console exclusives like the next Halo or God of War? E3. As the years went on, E3 matured. The concept of booth babes was dropped from the event. Well, unless you were Bang Energy, but that's Bang Energy being Bang Energy, and the less that is said about Bang Energy, the better. However, it also seemed E3 just got more and more cringy as time went on. That weird Wii music presentation? Whew. Ubisoft's weird laser tag and Just Dance announcements? Oh god. YouTuber Jesse Wellens and EA trying to not make an awkward announcement for Need for Speed? Yeah, that failed. Actually, hey, Virgil, do we have like a E3 cringe compilation on hand? Hey, Virgil, do we have like a E3 cringe compilation on hand?
Can't you see I'm busy, Taylor? Didn't I tell you guys that I'm doing a background role now and I'm not really active anymore?
Game over.
Ah, damn it. Alright. Here's the E3 2019 cringe compilation.
Fuck yeah, we put a battle royale in Fallout 76.
Get back to work. A hug for me. Hey, Ben, how you doing? Oh my God.
I threatened to hug.
You did? Well, you didn't get a good one. Get in here. All right. For those of you here at EA Play.
Whatever you need from Double Fine, we'll make for you. Halo stuff, Forza stuff.
I came outside to see what everyone was talking about, and they're all on their phones. Just the way I like it. IRL, social stuff to a minimum.
And that was just 2019.
That was just 2019. Oh boy, yeah. Anyways, that was one event, folks. Just one of the biggest budget industry events with the biggest budgets. Just goes to show you money doesn't buy you out of cringe. Now that we have told a quick story of E3, why did it die? Remember that little mention of Nintendo Direct? That was the first nail in the coffin. At the time, we didn't know that. We thought this was Nintendo in decline and trying to save money. That ended up being the best presentation out of the whole cycle. Why? Well, it was scripted to avoid cringe-inducing moments. It had a lot of game announcements delivered in a coherent structure. You didn't have to track down a news website to watch it. Nintendo delivered it directly to the audience. Over the years, this became the standard companies would follow for their announcements. One by one, over the years, each company would pull out of E3 to do their own events. Of course, the pandemic was another massive nail, as huge gatherings like this were a health risk. It also didn't help that E3's image at that time was being torn down bit by bit. There was the booth babe controversy early on and the image that marketing tactic had on the industry. The biggest one was when E3 doxed thousands of influencers and journalists. There were even mumblings of that becoming a lawsuit, which I don't think became a thing. I'm not really certain. The truth is, E3 is a relic of pre-high-speed internet. It was a decent idea when things like YouTube and Twitch weren't household names with 24-hour gaming updates on Twitter. It tried to evolve, but even then it missed the mark with high prices and cringy fan interactions. Just when things weren't looking good, the arguable face of E3 said, and I'm quoting, "Based on what's been communicated to me about the show, I just don't feel comfortable participating." Papa Jeff Keighley then promptly peaced out and made the Summer Games Fest alongside the already popular Video Game Awards. Both of those still have the stank of video game presentation cringe, but it's evolved for the modern times. It's on Twitch and YouTube. They do drops and giveaways, as well as announce games that are coming out that night. With E3, you were lucky if the game was coming out that year. I understand the nostalgia of E3. I understand seeing that G4 logo in the bottom corner and watching to see what new games would be announced. Our favorite video game makers coming out on stage and trying to one up each other and stealing the headlines. Ubisoft trying their absolute damnedest to make Just Dance announcements not lame. The announcement of Ace Combat 5, the true start of my gaming hobby, was brought to my attention at E3.
When history witnesses a great change, Razgriz reveals itself, first as a dark demon. As a demon, it uses its power to rain death upon the land, and then it dies. However, after a period of slumber, Razgriz returns.
However, those days aren't coming back, and honestly, I think that's okay. The industry has changed and grown, in many aspects for the worst, and in a few aspects for the better. E3 was one of those that proudly stood in both categories. While the corporate video game cringe was fun for a while, even that got old and stale. Do we seriously need a multi-day event where video game publishers lie to us on a stage for an hour? They do that in their own press releases every day.